My husband is toxic, so I might let someone else into my life.
Welcome to Storly. For more wild stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, quick friendly reminder that this video will have 2 stories.
I, 19 female, confessed to my husband, 20 male, that I committed acts of infidelity. I'll call him Liam. He was my high school sweetheart, my first real love, the only person I've ever been intimate with. After a couple years of dating, not very long after graduation, I got a job in tech, and he started his application to join the armed forces. While he was in basic, my job was going pretty well. I was making pretty good money. But little did I know meeting someone else would turn into the chaos now laid before me. My ex-boss, 27 male. I'll just call him Dylan, was 8 years older than me, and pretty attractive. I wasn't married to my husband at the time, but we were still dating, and I developed a crush on my then boss. I have past trauma when it comes to guys older than me, not sure if that is any consolation. A couple times my husband came to see me at work, and Dylan would be working aside me. I remember Liam saying to me that he felt like Dylan was attracted to me and noticed him finding any way to get close to me. Of course, I didn't realize it or think much of it. He also was in a relationship at the time, and I barely knew him, but it was clear that it made him uncomfortable. Fast forward, Dylan got fired, and I ended up switching jobs to another company. For some reason, I stayed in contact with him and would just check up every now and then. He was a respectable boss that I saw as an acquaintance friend at this point. Not long after, my husband and I were just driving back from a dinner together, and he had asked me if I talked to Dylan. I said no. He asked me to type his name in my message search bar. There it was in the conversation I had with my friend. I didn't know how to explain it, but I did. He then left me on the side of the road in a raged state. It was dark, and it was in a neighborhood I'd never been in before. After 10 minutes or so, he came back and told me he didn't want to look at me but to get in the car. Somehow we got through it. We tried to make things work. I tried to show him there were no feelings on my end. But now my world is even more upside down at my own fault. Liam and I haven't had the best relationship. He's called me horrible things, and has lied to me about really bad things as well, to the point where it would be considered verbal and emotional abuse. All this to say, a couple months back, I unblocked Dylan, for reasons I don't even know in myself why, and we agreed to meet up and get food. I didn't know that on the way there, he was going to stop at his house. He didn't tell me this until I was in his car for several minutes. He said he needed to change shirts because he was in his work uniform. And while I was there, I was just waiting in the living room while he changed in his room. Stepping foot there, I felt so terrible for. We went to IHOP and they were really busy, so instead we drove through Taco Bell. We went back to his house to eat, and then he asked if I wanted to watch something. He was trying to cuddle me and be close to me, and I felt a bottomless pit in my stomach. I moved away, and then asked if he could drive me back to my car. Now, just a couple days ago, my friends and I were hanging out for my going away party, to go move in with my husband where he's currently stationed. We invited Dylan. I got so drunk and I kissed him as he was leaving. I don't have any romantic feelings for him, so why I did what I did, I have no clue. I had inklings of Liam cheating, but that could have just been my own projections. I just told my husband everything over the phone. I couldn't stand to feel the amount of guilt knowing I would have wanted him to confess if he had done the same. But I feel like the extent of what I did is unforgivable and our marriage is no longer salvageable. My whole world and every vision I had of the future is shattered. And it's all my fault. I feel like a shell of a human. He's already called me any name you can muster with the whore synonym. Mind you, he's the only person I've ever had intimacy with, so yeah. I know deep down I would have never gone that far with another man, so I feel like I did it for attention or validation, which doesn't justify it even still. Cheating is cheating, I get that.
I'm sorry to hear your struggle. I don't recommend you trying to fix anything by yourself. You have a toxic relationship with your husband as far as I can tell. But it doesn't really justify getting with someone else. You deserve better. See and talk to someone about all this, preferably a therapist. On to the second story.
I already forgave her cheating, but now I saw details and can't cope with the way she had intimacy. I am really freaking out right now and hope you guys can help me. My girlfriend of 2.5 years has cheated and I already forgave her. Now I learned that the intimacy was much worse than I expected, and I don't know how to handle this. It happened about 2 months ago. My girlfriend was at a party at the shared apartment of some of her friends. Nothing special. I wasn't in town as I had to work in a different city. The next day, she called me crying and told me that she had cheated. I was shocked. When I came back the day after that, we had a long talk. She didn't tell me much details, and I didn't ask for it. She said that she had had a few drinks and just went with the flow and then had intimacy there. I actually didn't ask with whom. As she seemed to be really sorry, I tried to get over it. It took me some time, but I actually managed to really forgive her, and I thought our relationship was on a good track again. Her cheating wasn't a topic at all anymore. I admit that I was wondering about details from time to time, but I didn't want to talk about it and thought that it doesn't matter. However, I was very, very wrong. Yesterday, I talked to a guy who was there as well, and he seemed to be very surprised that I had been able to forgive her. I tried to explain to him that I appreciated her honesty and that she never tried to hide it at all. I wasn't able to understand his confusion until I was finally brave enough to ask about details. I almost blacked out when he told me. To cut a long story short, it wasn't just normal intimacy with one guy. She apparently slept with at least 3 of them and did things she'd never do with me. I still have no words for it. Actually, I thought he was making this up, but he had proof, and I can't get this off my mind now. I don't know how to ever cope with this. I know that I didn't ask for details, but it still feels like she lied to me, even though she technically maybe didn't. I hate that I went through a lot of mental trouble to keep this relationship alive and now have to learn this. I am completely freaking out right now.
You've been trickle-truthed, and not pushing to know everything didn't help your case either. You forgave before knowing what you were forgiving. I'll be honest. If this random guy brought this up to you in a bar, this whole topic will be held over your head for a good while. You need to be sure of your decision, whatever it may be. Staying in this state of limbo will just make life harder on you. Thank you for staying till the end. Share your thoughts with us in the comments. Also hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get new wild stories every day. See you on the next one.